bahay gang, all right? And then if there's bagyo or dadamay yung ating pera na nandyan lang sa bahay natin at hindi siya nagkaka-interest. It doesn't earn interest and walang maximum deposit insurance coverage ng PDIC, correct? Pero kung yan ay nasa safe, it is convenient, there's security, nag-earn ng interest, and covered siya ng PDIC Maximum Deposit Insurance Coverage or yung tinatawag naming MDIC. So very good na most of the participants, they save in banks. Next slide, please. All right, I save, hashtag, I save in banks. Next slide, please. All right, so ngayon alam na natin yung meaning ng savings. Alam na rin natin yung mga dahilan kung bakit nagsisave yung mga tao. Alam na rin natin kung ano ba yung mga problema or yung mga challenges why people cannot save. And then now we know the 3S of saving, the tips on how to save. So ngayon, nagdeposito na tayo sa bangko. Alright? Tuloy-tuloy yan para may storyline siya. So ngayong nagdeposito na tayo sa bangko, what are the 7 habits of a wise saver? No? Kung itatanong ninyo, bakit 7 habits, hindi siya 8 habits, 10 habits, di ba? 12 habits. Because when we did a survey in sometime, I think in 2009, we did a survey, we tried to find out sa mga depositors, sa aming mga stakeholders, the depositing public, ano ba yung mga nagiging problema ninyo sa bangko? Ano ba yung mga concerns ninyo sa bangko ninyo? Ano yung mga issues na experience nyo every day whenever you transact in banks. So ito yung 7 major issues and concerns na gather namin. So now we're trying to give you solutions or tips on how to solve itong mga problemang the 7 habits na yung 7 problems na ka-encounter ng ating mga depositors in the last few years starting in 2009. So ito na po yung 7 habits of a wise saver. Habit number 1, all right, know your bank. Know your bank. Why do we need to know your bank or our bank? Is it because kumpare natin yung officer or yung staff ng bangko? Ninong ba natin sila sa kasal? Kamag-anak ba natin, kapitbahay or kaklase natin yung officer or yung employee ng bank? Or is the bank near our house, making it convenient for us to go there anytime? Lahat po yan ay pwedeng reason why we need to know our bank. But perhaps the main reason is that what we deposit in a bank is hard-earned money. Okay? Perang pinaghirapan natin yan, lalo na for mga retirees or people working in government. We spent 20, 30, or even 40 years in government service. That is why we need to have a certain confidence or assurance that when we sleep at night, we know that our hard-earned money is still in the bank. Na paggising natin, we can go there and withdraw anytime. Right? So what else do we need to know about our preferred bank? We need to know the owners of the bank, the people behind it, and the people who manage it. Is the bank registered with a BSP and a member of PDIC? We also need to find out yung financial condition ng bangko. We need to find out its strength and weaknesses. Okay? And all of this information, pwede nating mag-google through the PDIC, the BSP, the SEC, and the bank's websites. Pwede din tayo magbasa ng dyaryo, magazines, watch television and radio, which can provide most of the information that we need. All right? That's the first habit. The second habit, know your bank products. All right? All banks have more or less the same bank products. But what we need to know is, are all bank products covered by the PDIC Maximum Deposit Insurance? The answer is no. Not all bank products are insured by the PDIC. Only deposits are insured. And what are these? Ito yung mga savings deposit, current or check deposits, time deposits, and foreign currency deposits. If there are insured bank products, there are also bank products that are not insured. And these are investment products, trust accounts like the UITF, fraudulent accounts, e-money, and laundered money and deposit products from unsafe and unsound banking practices. Yun pong galing sa mga illegal gambling or yung mga galing sa drugs. Pag nagsarado po yung bangko, hindi po mababayaran yan ng PDIC. Alright? So don't confuse investments with regular deposits. And every time you do a bank transaction, you need to read and understand the fine print of the bank documents and don't hesitate to clarify with bank personnel the terms and conditions that are not clear in the documents that you are signing. Alright? Habit number 3, know your bank services and fees. No? Next slide, please. All right. Lahat po ng bangko more or less have the same services and bank fees, no? But always remember that in every transaction, meron pong binabayaran ng mga service fees, no? Iba-ibang service fees yan. Kunyari yung mga dormancy fee, no? Dormancy fee, or yung mga fees that when yung bank account ninyo or bank deposit falls below the required minimum balance, meron kayong binabayaran dyan. Or yung mga, if you have a bank account in, for example, Bank A, pero we withdraw kayo from the ATM of Bank B, merong may transfer deposits na binabayaran. No, whenever you check your account balance, meron ding fee na kinokolekta ang mga bangko. So kailangan alamin nyo riyan para pagka hindi kayo nagtataka pagka kayo nagbabalanse ng inyong mga bank deposits, minsan para may mga kulang-kulang, it's because of certain fees that you paid to the bank. All right? Habit number 4, keep your bank records safe and updated. No? Secure your bank passbook, your ATM cards, certificate of time deposit, your checkbooks, and other bank records at all times. No? Kailangan na hawak ninyo yung mga original evidence of deposit because we want to avoid unnecessary delays in the reimbursement of your deposits pag hindi nyo po hawak yan. Tapos po nagsarado yung bangko, hindi nyo hawak yung ATM ninyo or yung inyong passbook or yung certificate of time deposit. No? Mahirap po yan because we need your identification kasi yung what is there in the bank records and your IDs kailangan nagma-match, no? Especially for women who will get married. Kung single kayo, nag-open kayo ng bank account, for example, Juana de la Cruz, and then after 2 or 3 years, kayo po ay nag-decide na pakasalan yung boyfriend niyo, naging Juana de la Cruz Santos na kayo. You need to update your records with the bank. Kasi kung magsarado yung bangko, dumating si PDIC, ang nasa record ng bangko ay Juana de la Cruz. But your ID is Juana de la Cruz Santos. So magkaiba na po yan. Sa perspective ng PDIC, these are two different persons. So the burden of proof is with the depositor. So madidelay po yung pagbabayad, no? Dahil because you need to prove your identification and that the ID that you're holding and the bank records there one and the same person. Or kung kayo po ay magbabago ng address, ng home address, because there's a policy with PDIC that if your bank account is 100,000 and below, you don't need to go to the PDIC to file your claim. Right? 100,000 and below, hindi po kayo nagbago ng address at wala po kayong utang sa bangko. You don't need to go to the bank, to the closed bank for reimbursement. No? PDIC will mail the check or the postal money order to the last known address in your bank records. So kung hindi nyo po in-update yung bangko na kayo po ay lumipat na ng bahay, natural, yun pong tatanggap dun sa old address ninyo, hindi na po kayo yon. So babalik po yung cheque or yung PMO sa PDIC. So magkakaroon po ng delay, dyan po nagsisimula ang mga complaints. No? Because as much as possible, we want to reimburse all of the depositors with a single-digit turnaround time. Alright? So lagi po tayong mag-update ng ating pong bank records. Alright, what is habit number 5? Transact only inside the bank with authorized bank personnel. Alright? Be sure that you deal only with authorized bank personnel, and each banking transaction should come with evidence that the transaction was done. Do not hesitate to ask personnel to present an ID, and always ask for proof of your transaction. Normally, lahat mo po tayo, we go to the bank to transact. Meron pong interface. Ngayon, meron pong authority, yung mga bangko to conduct house to house, but they need to request a document authorizing them to do a house-to-house transaction. Meron pong ganon. But you need to look for that document, authorizing the bank to transact house-to-house. And another thing, if there is an authority for the bank to do a house-to-house transaction, make sure that yung pong bahay ninyo at yung bangko, ang distance lang po nun should be 1 hour. 1 hour travel time to ensure na, di ba, within a specific kilometers yung bangko. Kasi kung masyado na pong malayo, baka po iba na po ang usapan doon. So make sure that kung kayo po ay may kumatok sa inyo, kabahay ninyo at taga-bangko sila, make sure to ask for that document authorizing them to do such bank transaction outside of the bank. Also, the BSP is now encouraging everyone to learn yung mga online transactions. Because may pandemic, they want everyone to be safe. So hindi na kailangan pumunta physically sa bangko. So yung mga iba, you need to learn to do yung mga GCash, yung mga Paymaya, di ba? So kung medyo nahihirapan yung mga seniors or yung mga hindi masyadong techie, you can ask yung mga anak ninyo na napakagaling sa mga computer, sa mga laptop, sa mga programs, sa mga apps, di ba? Because really, that is the future also of banking. So unti-unti kailangan matuto na tayo niyan. Alright? Next slide, please. Yes, this is now the PDIC maximum deposit insurance coverage. Next slide, please. Alright. Ito na po yung medyo mahalaga at importanteng dapat matandaan natin. Yung PDIC, Maximum Deposit Insurance Coverage, or what we call the MDIC. The maximum deposit insurance coverage is 500,000 per depositor per bank. 500,000 na po. Kasi may mga iba po nagsasabi 250,000. That was so before 2009. Ngayon, 2009 onwards is now 500,000. So how do we compute yung 500,000 na ito? Kasi there are two cases nung mga bank deposit, yung mga bank accounts. Meron yung single account at meron yung joint account. For single account, syempre alam natin mag-isa lang tayo. Isa lang po ang depositor. So, for example, ako po ay nag-open ng account sa Bank A. Si Bank A, meron pong 3 branches. May branches sa Quezon City, sa Makati, and sa Caloocan. Alright? So nag-open ako ng iba't ibang account. Nag-open ako ng savings account sa Quezon City for 1 million. Nag-open ako ng time deposit sa Makati for another 1 million. Nag-open ako ng account sa Caloocan, another 1 million. So do sa single account ko, in one bank, but 3 different branches, I have a total deposit of 3 million, correct? So pag nagsarado yung bangko, PDIC will add all the balances together and shall be insured only up to 500,000. So dun sa aking 3 million, I can only get 500,000 now. Alright? Yung excess, pwede po siyang i-apply later on. However, PDIC will need to liquidate all the assets of the bank bago magbayad nung excess of the 500,000. So meron pang 2.5 million na pwedeng i-claim ko sa PDIC. Alright? So that's how we compute doon sa single accounts. Now for the joint account, ito yung mga and or account. Number one, the joint account shall be insured separately from the single account. So kung ako meron akong single account, so I have a 500,000 MDIC there. Kung meron akong joint account, I have another 500,000 covered sa joint account. So I can claim 1 million from my joint and from my single account. Ngayon, do sa joint account, yung mga and or, we compute the 500,000 by dividing equally among the number of depositors in the joint accounts. Kung dalawa kayo, 500,000 divided by 2. So each of the two will get 250,000 each. Kung tatlo, divided by 500,000 divided by 3. Kung apat kayo, 500,000 divided by 4 and so on and so forth. So ganyan siya kinocompute, alright, in principle. So example, paano natin ginagawa yan? Example tayo. Meron tayong illustrative examples, alright? Single accounts, alright? Mang Doming has 4 deposits in Bank A, no? Yung unang deposit niya is 100,000. Yung second deposit niya, Ben Santos for the account of Mang Doming, another 100,000. Charlie Santos in trust for Mang Doming, another 100,000. Mang Doming store, 700,000. All in all, ang total amount na deposit ni Mang Doming ay 1 million. So how does PDIC compute ngayon for these different accounts, no? For these different single accounts? Do sa unang account, 100,000. Nagsarado ngayon si Bangko. Pumasok na si PDIC. So ngayon si Mang Doming is claiming for his 4 different accounts. Do sa unang account, how much can Mang Doming receive from PDIC? 100,000. All right? Ben Santos for the account of Mang Doming, 100,000. Magkano po ang makukuha ni Mang Doming from PDIC? Another 100,000. Charlie Santos in trust for Mang Doming, another 100,000. Magkano ang marireimburse ni Mang Doming from PDIC? Another 100,000. Doon sa last account niya ngayon, Mang Doming Store, 700,000. Magkano ang makukuha or makli-claim ni Mang Doming from PDIC? 200,000 na lang. Kasi sabi natin, ang MDIC is 500,000 per depositor per bank. So kung titignan natin, i-add natin yung tatlong account niya, meron na siyang 300,000. Dun sa last account, 200,000. Alright? So dun sa 1 million, 500,000 lang ang makukuha niya for now. Pero yung excess, he can file it later at hihintayin niya ang PDIC to be able to liquidate all the assets of the closed bank. Right? So I hope that's clear. Next example, for joint accounts. Mang Doming has 3 accounts, no? Joint accounts. Mang Doming or Ben Santos, may 500,000. Mang Doming and Charlie Santos, 1 million. Mang Doming and or Divina Santos, another 1 million for a total amount of 2.5 million. Alright? So ngayon, si Bank A ay nagsara, pumasok na sa PDIC, mag-claim si Mang Doming doon sa kanyang joint account. So doon sa unang account na 500,000, magkano makukuha ni Mang Doming from PDIC? 250,000 because sabi natin, 'di ba, yung 500,000 will be divided equally dun sa joint accounts, no? Dun sa number of depositors doon. So in this case, dalawa sila. So si Ben Santos will get 250,000. Right? For the second joint account, Mang Doming and Charlie Santos, 1 million. Magkano ang marireimburse ni Mang Doming from PDIC? 250,000. Again, balik tayo dun sa MDIC. 500,000 per depositor per bank. Ngayon, si Charlie Santos will get 250,000. Correct? Now, for the third account, Mang Domeng and or Divina Santos, 1 million. Magkano ang marireimburse ni Mang Domeng from PDIC? 0. Wala na. Kasi when we add yung kanyang two previous accounts, 250,000 plus 250,000, nakakuha na siya ng 500,000. Alright? Nakakuha na siya ng 500,000. Okay? So ganyan po natin siya kinocompute. Sabi natin, balik natin yung slide. Sabi natin, Mang Domeng does not have any insured deposit anymore since he already has 500,000 in total shares in the two accounts he has with Ben and Charlie Santos. Okay? Next slide, please. So the last habit number 7, be cautious. Offers that sound too good to be true are usually not true. No? Generally, excessively high interest rates carry more risk. So if you're trying to open a bank account in a certain bank in your community, tignan nyo muna kung magkano yung interest rate ng mga ibang bangko of the same category. Kung yari commercial bank siya, ang ino-offer niya is 5%, and then the other commercial banks in the area are offering like 1%, di ba? Masyadong malaki yung difference. So you need to be very cautious, no? Because excessively high interest rates carry more risk. So that is the 7 habits of a wise saver. Next slide, please. So let's now go to the scams, no, in celebration of the Consumer Protection Month. Ito naman yung mga different scams na na-encounter ng PDIC in the last few years, no. Naku, ang mga ano talaga, mga scammers, very creative, no, kung ano mga naiisip nila. So the first scam that we encountered was yung deposit insurance claim scams. No, ito yung mga scammers that claims to be government official who for a fee can help guarantee payment of deposit insurance and even the uninsured portion of the MDIC, all right? So always transact with authorized PDIC personnel, no? And be informed about the limitations of the deposit insurance. Hindi po kami humihingi ng fee sa kapalit ng pagbabayad ng inyong deposit na ipit sa closed bank. It's for free, no? It's public service and we don't ask for any fee, no? All right, next slide please. Ito naman, raffle scams, no? Talaga nga naman. Keep in mind that only deposits in banks are insured by PDIC at hindi po kami nagpaparaffle. Wala pong ganyan. So kung meron sa inyong nagte-text or tumatawag about raffle draws, no? In exchange for yung PDIC insurance, ang PDIC insurance ay free. All bank deposits are insured with PDIC at wala pong binabayaran ang depositor sa PDIC. That's part of ang aming mandato, no? So hindi po kami nagpapa-raffle draw at wala rin kaming mga cash prizes na pinamimigay in exchange for anything about your deposit na naipit sa nagsarang bangko. So that's raffle scams. Next slide, please. Ito naman yung sponsorship scams. Fraudulent individuals and entities representing themselves as officers of PDIC. They call via phone or solicit sponsorships for alleged activities of PDIC. We don't do that. Never entertain such request, no? Hindi po kami nagtatatawag for any sponsorships. All right, next slide please. Ito naman yung deposit insurance scams, no? This involves a counterfeit document using the PDIC logo and forged signatures of senior government officials, which the scammers purport to be a letter of assurance claiming that PDIC is obligated to disburse the recipient, which can only be released upon payment of an obligatory insurance through a deposit to a Philippine bank. No? Hindi rin po kami gumagawa ng mga ganyan. No? Payment of deposit insurance is only upon closure of a bank as ordered by the Monetary Board. Wala po kaming fee, no, for filing or receiving of deposit insurance claims. Next slide, please. Ito naman yung surety bond scams. Now, please note that PDIC is not a surety agency and does not issue surety bonds for tax payments. Next slide, please. Ito naman yung misrepresentation of the PDIC. Certain individuals who are falsely representing PDIC and using counterfeit documents in relation to perpetrating financial scams on so-called recovery of investments and by involving the Philippine Stock Exchange. Again, PDIC is not involved in investments and any means to recover loss from any investment. Next slide, please. Ito naman yung bogus certificate of registered depositor membership. Certain individuals issuing certificates of registered depositor membership to depositors. No? PDIC we do not issue certificates of registered depositor membership. Next slide, text and phone scams. Individual texters or phone callers fraudulently claiming to be officers of PDIC and soliciting sponsorships for alleged activities of the corporation. Again, as a matter of policy, PDIC does not solicit from any person or entity for any purpose whatsoever. All right. That's the end of my presentation, and we'd like to leave this message to everyone. The future looks bright for someone who saves wisely. So in closing, I hope that you have learned the importance of and the value of saving and how it impacts our lives. So we need to unlearn bad spending habits and relearn the act of saving. By doing so, you make yourselves financially informed Filipinos and would have made us successful in our Finlit campaign. So start saving now. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the day. Maraming salamat, DTI.
All right. Thank you po, Sir Jerry, for that very insightful presentation. Good morning po ulit sa ating participants here in Zoom and to everyone joining us via DTI Consumer Care Facebook and DTI Philippines YouTube. Let us now proceed po with our question and answer portion. Short reminder lang po sa ating participants to stay muted unless you are addressing the speaker and or moderator directly. Please be also informed po na makakapag-download po kayo ng copy ng presentation material after you accomplish the client satisfaction form that will be posted in the chat box section. Para mas maging interactive ang ating question and answer portion, we encourage everyone po to click the raise hand button so we can call you to ask directly to our speaker. Pwede rin pong isend ang inyong questions sa chat box. In the meantime po, Sir Jerry, habang naghihintay po tayo ng mag-raise ng hand, let's proceed po sa questions na ipinadala sa atin kanina. First question po, what are the services of PDIC na available to the general public and consumers? Kung sakali po kaming consumers gustong matuto ng iba pang bagay tungkol sa deposit insurance, meron po ba kayong website or social media pages na pwede namin i-check for reference and for tools po? Sir Jerry?
Yes, we have our website at www.pdic.gov.ph. You can visit that website at meron kami mga information on financial literacy and how to compute yung mga deposits na naipit sa bangko. No? We have different ways of computing and also mga bank statistics, yung mga ganyan, financial literacy, and what we do, be a wise saver, and generally what we do and ano yung mga mandato namin. No? So makikita nyo dun sa aming website, www.pdic.gov.ph.
Thank you for Sir Jerry. Second question naman po, How does the deposit insurance coverage work? What will happen sa mga deposits po ng client sa bangko na magko-close na?
Again, sabi namin yung maximum deposit insurance coverage is up to 500,000 per depositor per bank. And we only covered all deposits. Other than, kung hindi siya deposit, we don't cover that. Diba? Yung mga investments and mga fraudulent accounts, e-money, yung mga ganyan, hindi namin siya kino-cover. Only yung mga savings deposit, current deposit, time deposit, and foreign currency deposits.
Thank you po. Question po from Ms. Gina Yap of EMB. Are deposits with the digital bank insured by the PDIC?
Yes. Yes. As long as they're considered, as long as they are large as deposits, covered po siya.
Next question naman po. Kanina po diniscuss nyo yung iba't ibang scams. As consumers, in scamming cases po, may assistance po bang mabibigay ang PDIC?
Yes, we have our Public Assistance Department which handles all concerns, queries from the depositing public.
Thank you po, sir. Next question naman po, this is from DTI Region 10, from Maria Lourdes. What if my deposits were placed in different banks? Like for example, LBP, DBP, paano po yung computation nun, sir? Or considered as one client lang po ba yun? Kung for example, lahat ng banks na yun ay nagsara. Or 500,000 per bank po ba ito, sir?
Very good yung choice mo, no? Hindi mo nilagay sa isang bangko at iba't ibang branches ng isang bangko. So if you have enough money, maganda yung ikalat mo yung inyong deposit in different banks para covered siya ng 500,000 ng PDIC.
Thank you po.
Pag nagsarado na yung mga bangko, hindi naman siguro magsasara yung kung magsasara sila, then we do it individually kung paano, per depositor kasi yan per bank, yung computation ng MDIC.
Alright, thank you po for that clarification.
Thank you po.
Good morning, ma'am. Next question naman po, saan po pwedeng mag-file ng complaint kapag naka-encounter po ng deposit insurance scam? Sa BSP po ba or sa PDIC?
Pwede both, no? BSP, meron din silang parang consumer protection department or parang public assistance department. Pwede rin po sa PDIC. Pwede sa dalawa. Pwede sa kanila, pwede rin sa amin.
Alright, thank you po, Sir Jerry. Kanina po nabanggit nyo na covered pa rin po ang digital banks. Yung next question naman po natin, covered po ba ng PDIC ang e-wallets like GCash and PayMaya?
Insofar, hindi. Hindi siya covered. Kasi hindi naman siya bangko. At saka hindi siya deposit sa bangko. Only deposits in banks are covered by the PDIC insurance, and nako-cover lang siya if there's a bank closure ordered by the Monetary Board of the Bangko Sentral.
Alright, thank you po, sir. Next question naman po, para po sa inyo, ano yung advantages and disadvantages ng savings and checking account? Ano po yung main difference nila to guide us po in determining kung ano po yung dapat namin i-open?
Depende kasi yan sa needs ninyo eh. If you're just probably a plain housewife and baka yung mga gastusin nyo on a daily basis, siguro sa savings na lang kayo mag-open, no? Usually kasi yung mga checking account is for businessmen. Kasi yung laging madalas na merong mga business transaction and you can't, di ba, afford to go to the bank every day and withdraw or deposit cash. So check na lang ang binabayad natin. So that's the main difference. Mas convenient siguro yung sa checking, but it really depends on your needs. Kung bangko ka, kung businessman ka, syempre mas pabor sa'yo yung pag-issue ng mga cheque. Kung kung housewife, and you need to go every so often sa bangko, so savings na lang siguro, or you can have your ATM para convenient sa inyo.
Thank you po, sir. Yung question po natin from Sir Romel Mandap, how about po yung CIMB Bank naka-partner po ni GCash? So ang question po niya, sir, ay yung mga banks na partner ni GCash, covered pa rin po ba ito ng PDIC?
Basta't registered with the Bank Central and member siya ng PDIC, then covered siya. Yung GCash pala, no, it's not, hindi siya covered, pero yung deposit account where the money came to load GCash is covered, no? For clarification lang.
Alright, thank you po, sir. Next question po natin, paano daw po kung covered din daw po ba yung deposit sa same bank pero different branches?
Yes, it is covered.
Sir, to clarify lang po, yung 500,000 na coverage po or yung insured amount, yung computation po ba nito ay per branch or as isang bank lang po, sir?
Per bank, per depositor per bank.
Alright, thank you po.
Kung meron kang deposit in one bank in different branches of the same bank, then PDIC will add together all your deposit regardless, and up to 500,000 lang siya.
Alright, thank you po, sir. Next question naman po from Miss Sally of Pdic. Cash cards are commonly mistaken as bank accounts po, sir. Can you share with us po your thoughts on cash cards po instead of savings account po, or mas recommended niyo po ba ang pag-open ng savings account instead of cash cards?
Savings account kasi deposits yun considered as deposits. I'm not very familiar with the cash card, but kung yung lahat ng deposits, tulad ng sinabi ko, yung savings deposit, time, current, and the foreign currency deposits, covered siya ng PDIC.
Thank you.
Cash cards, in addition, cash cards, usually conduit lang siya based sa understanding namin. Conduit lang siya, hindi siya talaga yung main account.
Alright, sir. Thank you po. Question po ulit from Miss Gina Yap of EMB. What happens when the depositor of a closed bank fails to file his or her claim within the 24-month period?
Usually yan, nafu-forfeit na siya. And going back nga pala dun sa cash card, dahil conduit lang siya, conduit kasi siya, kaya dumadaan yung money para gastusin, pero hindi siya yung, ayun nga, parang ano lang siya, parang vehicle lang siya, hindi siya yung main deposit.
Alright po, thank you, sir. Regarding po dun sa pag-file ng insurance claims, paano daw po mag-file ng insurance claim, sir?
First of all, I'd like to acknowledge my boss, Attorney Sadi Rilyorta, would like to expound on some of the questions. Attorney Rilyorta.
Good morning po, Attorney Sadi.
Good morning. Good morning, DTI, and to all of you who are joining us here sa Zoom at saka sa Facebook also. I've been listening to Jerry's presentation, and I heard about a question on paano pag na-miss mo yung period of filing ng claim. If I can just go back to that. Meron po kasi tayong tinatawag na period to file your claim pag nandoon po tayo sa claim settlement na period. Ibig sabihin, pag dati po pumupunta tayo sa bangko na nagsara, may 2-week period po tayo na binibigay para makapag-claim kayo ng inyong deposit insurance and then mabayaran kayo also on the day, no? On the same site, on the same day na nakaschedule kayong bayaran. Ngayon, ano po ang mangyayari if hindi nyo po siya na-file within that period na binigay namin, initial period na binigay namin sa inyo? From the date po of the closure of the bank, meron po kayong total 20, parang 2 years. You have a total of 2 years to file your claim for deposit insurance. Ang epekto lang po nito is ganito. Pag nag-file po kayo ng claim within the initial 2-week period, 2 weeks na binigay namin sa inyo, or that period of time immediately following the closure of the bank, makukuha nyo po kaagad yung pera ninyo. Pag alis namin doon sa location or within the date na kinumit ng PDIC. Pag final nyo po on a later period, medyo madedelay lang po ang pagpapadala sa inyo ng inyong 500,000 or less na reimbursement doon sa inyong deposito. So yun lang po yung kaibahan yan. Yung forfeiture po na sinasabi ni Jerry, just to go back to that response, is ito po is kung talagang within the 2-year period na binigay sa inyo, hindi nyo pa rin po na-claim, hindi nyo pa rin po na-file ang inyong claim for deposit insurance, hindi na po siya tatanggapin ng PDIC. So you have to be mindful po sa aming mga announcements kung nagkataon na ang inyong bangko ay na-order na ipasara ng PSP, you can check us out on our contact points sa website, www.pdic.gov. Tapos the PH, meron din po kami social media accounts, yung Facebook account namin, yung official PDIC. Doon po, if you follow us, then magkakaroon kayo ng avenue to learn about what we are doing in PDIC and also to be informed of the things that you need to accomplish or comply kung ang bangko po ninyo ay nagsara. So yun po yung response natin doon sa claim for deposit insurance kanina. I think there's another question on filing. Ms. Mayan, if you can read it back para I can respond.
Yes po, Attorney Sadi, may nagpapaguide lang po kung paano daw po mag-file po ng insurance claims.
Okay. Ngayon po kasi nasa pa tayo, no, we are operating in a pandemic situation. Kung napagsaran po kayo ng bangko, pwede po kayong pumunta by appointment sa aming Public Assistance Center. Yan po ang nasa 3rd floor sa SSS building sa Makati. Ngayon po, kung malayo naman po kayo sa Manila, no, I see that we have participants from the Visayas also. So, meron po kaming contact point, yung PAD, PAD at pdic.gov.ph. Pwede po kayong mag-email doon at mag-inquire sa kanya kung saan po kayo pwedeng makapagpadala ng inyong claim for deposit insurance. Pero ganito po ang proseso sa PDIC for all of us who are here, no? Kung napagsarahan po ang inyong bangko, kung nagsara po ang inyong bangko, at ang inyong pong contact details ay updated sa bangko, meaning your contact number, your cell phone number, your email address, if you have it, your address, no, your residence, your residential address, PDIC po will reach out to you through this avenue. Papadalan po kayo ng text messages, papadalan po kayo ng email, ng emails reminding you or requesting you to comply para po makapag-file kayo ng claim for deposit insurance within the period. Kaya po importante, katulad ng sinasabi ni Jerry kanina, that while the bank is open and while you keep on transacting with your bank, you also make sure that you update your records and your contact details. Kasi hindi po, ang PDIC po is really using these different contact details para po ma-reach out yung mga depositors ng mga nagsarang bangko. So your contact numbers, your cell phone numbers, your landline, if you have that, is also very important for you to be updated. Your email addresses, importante po yan para we can reach out to you para hindi na po kayo yung aktibo na maghahanap ng paraan or avenue kung saan nyo kami mahahagilap or paano nyo kami mako-contact. So we do that for you. That's our service. That's our commitment to serve you. Para po mas mabilis ninyong makuha yung inyong reimbursement for deposit insurance.
Thank you po,
Ms. Mayan.
Thank you po, Attorney Sadi. Next question naman po natin from DTI Guimaras. This is from Ms. Melesio Pait. Ano po yung signs na ang isang bank ay palugi na or pasara na? Are banks po required to inform depositors that they are closing down so that hindi mahirapan ang mga depositors in case na magsara nga po sila? Attorney?
Actually, I'm very sorry that we cannot tell you kung ano yung mga signs, because to be honest also with everyone here, hindi din po alam ng PDIC kung ano yung bangko na ipapasara ng BSP. We only get the notice sa araw din po na pinapadala or siniserve yung notice of closure. So wala po kaming idea, if you are asking for a technical answer, what to look out for. I'm sorry, I cannot give that to you. But maybe as a prudent depositor, ito po ang para sa akin on a personal level, ang isa sa mga pinaka-importanting tinitingnan ninyo. Pag nagwi-withdraw po kayo, dapat ang bangko po is nakakaserbisyo sa inyo ng inyong request for withdrawal. Pag medyo alanganin po siya, matagal, or hindi po niya na ibabalik, that is a very clear indication that your bank is having a financial concern. Kasi ang bangko po, ang kanyang negosyo, magdideposito tayo, diba? Yung pera natin, ginagamit niya, papaloan, may interest yan, yung amortization, a certain percentage of that goes to the interest of our deposit or our savings account. Now, when we request or when we demand from the bank that we be given a certain amount through withdrawal of that amount, dapat po immediately nasiserbisyuhan yung ating request or demand for withdrawal. Pag hindi po yung nagagawa, then medyo mag-alangan ho tayo ng konti. That's a personal tip that I can give you. Pero kung technical po ang hinahanap natin, nasagot sa tanong, pasensya na po because PDIC is also just informed of the bank na i-close on the day din po na siniserve yung notice. Wala po kaming ganun kadetalyang information.
Alright, thank you po, Attorney Sadi, for clarifying po. Next question naman po, may website po ba tayo or list online ng mga banks na accredited po ng BSP and or PDIC?
We don't use the term accreditation because what we actually have are member banks. So ang lahat po ng mga bangko na nag-ooperate sa Pilipinas, lahat po yan lisensyado ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So pag lisensyado po siya sa Bangko Sentral, automatic po member yan sa PDIC. So ibig sabihin, covered po, may protection kaagad kayo sa inyong mga deposito. We don't really accredit, but mandatory po ang membership nila sa PDIC kasi mandatory din ang kanilang pagkuha ng lisensya sa BSP. Wala pong bangko sa Pilipinas na tumatanggap ng deposito o nagsiservisyo ng pa-loans or withdrawal na hindi po nakakakuha ng lisensya sa Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So you have to be mindful, no? Yun yung first habit, know your bank, no? All banks operating in the Philippines are licensed by the BSP and automatically are members of the Philippine Deposit Insurance Corporation.
Thank you po, Attorney. Next question naman po, gaano daw po ka-safe na ilagay lahat ng pera o savings sa mga bangko? Ang dami pong news recently na nahahack ang mga bank savings account nila. May ibang ways pa po ba to save money na hindi na po kailangang ilagay sa bangko ang pera namin?
On the question of whether there are ways to save money other than putting it in the bank, yes, definitely. No. If you're listening to Jerry, sinasabi niya kanina, when you like start budgeting, meron kayong mga envelopes, meron kayong mga jars, diba? I think there are still people who save that way or approach saving that way. But nasa bangko po kasi ang kampanya namin that we bring our money to the bank, we saved in the banks because nandoon po pumapasok ang proteksyon na ino-offer ng PDIC. Kung nasa bahay po kasi yan, kung nasa envelope yan, pag nanakaw yan, wala pong proteksyon na mabibigay sa inyo. Although hindi po magsasara ang bahay ninyo, diba? But anchoring on the presentation on the best behavior on saving, mas malaki po ang temptasyon pag nasa bahay lang siya kasi mas madali mo siyang makuha. You don't really reinforce the habit or you don't form the habit of saving pag nandun lang siya. Kasi wala kang masyadong konbinyente eh. 'Di ba? Pag nandyan lang, pag may kailangan, feeling mo kaagad may gagastusin ka. But if you bring your money to the bank, there is a little inconvenience na meron ka para dalhin siya doon at para kunin siya, 'di ba? Yung protection po does not only happen when the bank closes. The protection happens the moment you open your savings account, the moment you start saving, the moment the bank actually opens and you transact with the bank. The protection of PDIC is already there. On the question, on the concern of certain banks being hacked based on the news that we've been reading, ito po ang mga bagay na hindi din natin maiiwasan sa panahon ngayon. Ano? But I think from a personal perspective, I can assure you that our banks are doing the best that they can together with the BSP and the PDIC to ensure that they will come up with a stronger protection for the system that they have. Ito pong mga concerns na ito are normal. No? Jerry has been conducting the financial literacy sessions for quite some time now. And these are questions that we also encounter on the field. And we acknowledge this concern and we bring this also to our partners para sila din po malaman nila na may mga depositors tayo na concern sa ganitong klaseng requirement of security. Pero sa PDIC po, ang kinakampanya namin is it is always safe to bring your money or save your money sa bangko. Kasi kung ano man, may protection po ang inyong pera.
Thank you po, Attorney Sadi, for that answer po. Before we proceed po with our next question, we would like to remind everyone po to please accomplish the customer satisfaction feedback form that are posted po. May dalawa po tayong CSF today, DTI link po and PDIC link. So please answer them po. Next question naman po natin, Attorney Sadi, may effect daw po ba yung pandemic sa financial stability ng banks at ng general public? May kinailangan po bang adjustments na gawin ang PDIC sa emergence po ng e-commerce and e-wallets po? Attorney, can you hear us po?
Actually, I lost you for a while, but I think the question was, ano yung situation natin during the pandemic?
Yes, Attorney.
I think from the news, if you are following the news during the early days of the pandemic, the financial institutions are coming in from a very strong position. Malakas po ang mga bangko natin. And because also of the pandemic, a lot of people were directed to the banks, no, to use the different platforms of the bank. And yung mga negosyante po natin na nandito with us today, I'm sure you have experienced na mas nagkaroon ng mas maraming produkto ang bangko to cater to the demands of the situation brought about by the pandemic. Dati po, yung mga kukonti po sa atin ang nag-online banking. Kukonti po ang gumagamit ng mga bank transfers, bank to bank, using an online platform. So yan po yung isang adjustment na nung nagkaroon ng pandemic, parang lahat ng bangko, nag-campaign sila for you to use online. So that is also very good in terms of us being of us, no, of consumers being exposed to these platforms, napapabilis po ang transaction natin, and safety-wise, mas napoprotektahan tayo. Then we are also ushered to, nagkaroon tayo ng mataas na parang receptivity sa paggamit ng e-money. Yung mga GCash, yung mga PayMaya po ninyo, that's e-money, no? So from your deposit account, niloloadan niyo siya, ginagamit niyo siya to pay or to pay or to transact to pay your transactions, to pay your bills, diba? So that is also part of financial literacy and financial inclusion. Now, on the part of PDIC, ano yung naging adjustment niya? During the pandemic po, prior to the pandemic, kung kayo po ay nagkaroon ng opportunity na kayo po ay nagkaroon ng opportunity to have an encounter with PDIC, maybe through the financial literacy sessions that we've had in the past, or kung kayo po ay depositor ng closed bank, maaalala po ninyo that we would go to the premises of the bank, to the location, and really pay your reimbursement for deposit insurance. Nung pandemic, we cannot do that, no? Kasi nagkaroon tayo ng mga lockdowns, nagkaroon tayo ng mga protocols na we need to observe. But PDIC did not stop from reimbursing claims for deposit insurance for depositors whose bank or order closed during the pandemic. And we had a few. Ang nangyari lang po is we increased on our information drive. We opened parang avenues for the clients, for the depositors to reach us more. No, so meron po kaming social media, malakas po ang aming kampanya sa social media. Meron po kaming kampanya din on financial literacy, and may kampanya po kung paano ninyo kami mako-contact. So we are in the radio stations, informing the public. Kung kayo po ay may concern pa sa PDIC, dito nyo po dalhin, dito nyo po isulat, dito nyo po itawag para mag-guide po namin kayo how to do that. So we didn't stop working, reaching out to the depositors by informing them about our programs. And we also did not stop working in a sense that we kept on reaching out to those who were affected or who have pending concerns with PDIC. So those are the adjustments that we did during the pandemic. Post-pandemic po, ang naging programa po namin ngayon is we have opened our doors to the public again. Sa Public Assistance Center, we are waiting to receive you and your concerns, but hindi po namin tinitigil ang aming mga online platforms. Gusto niyo pong bumisita, set an appointment with us, we will serve you. Kung gusto niyo pong tumawag, our officers and our fellow employees from PDIC will respond to you. Kung gusto niyo po ng email, meron pong sasagot sa inyo. So those avenues that we have opened during the pandemic remain open as an alternative for you to better reach us at PDIC.
Thank you so much po, Attorney Sati. Regarding po sa pagdulog po sa PDIC, nabanggit niyo po na pwede na po sila mag-online or di po kaya ay face-to-face or in-person. Kung sakali po mas gusto po nilang makipag-usap sa inyo ng in-person, may kailangan po ba silang appointment or scheduling na sundin, or open po ba kayo sa walk-ins?
Right now kasi the Public Assistance Center is open sa 3rd floor. I think mas maganda pa rin na nakakaset tayo ng appointment kasi meron silang, kung meron po kayong tanong at meron kayong mas-set na appointment, mapapadalhan po kayo kaagad ng mga dokumento na pwede na ninyong dalhin, tapos po bibisita kayo face-to-face. Na tumatanggap ng walk-in, pero dapat po may dala na kayong mga necessary identification. Please don't forget to bring copies of your vaccination cards also when you visit the site, because that will be required sa lobby bago kayo umakyat.
Thank you po, Attorney. Next question naman po natin, meron po ba tayong minimum deposit para makapag-file po ng insurance claim? Kung meron naman po, magkano?
Kung napagsarahan.
Yes po.
Wala namang minimum deposit, ano. Na i-cover is that the question is, I think the question is, may minimum deposit amount ba para ma-cover ka ng PDIC
Yes, ma'am.
insurance? Wala po. Ang meron po tayo maximum. Okay. So, ganito po, siguro this is a best example that I can share with you. Kunyari, nagsara yung bangko, depositor ka. Meron kang 100,000 pesos na deposit. Okay? Babayaran ka ng PDIC sa halaga na 100,000 pesos. Hindi ka niya babayaran ng 500,000 pesos, Ms. Mayan. 100,000 pesos lang. Kasi yun lang yung balanse mo upon closure. Kung ang balanse mo ay 50,000, babayaran ka niya ng 50,000. Kung ang balanse mo ay 5,000, 1,000, babayaran ka niya ng 5,000 or 1,000. Kung ang balanse mo ay 500,000 pesos, babayaran ka din niya ng 500,000 pesos. Pero kung ang balanse mo ay 1,000,000 at the time that the bank closed, ang ibabayad lang initially ng PDIC sa'yo is the 500,000. Yung natitira na 500,000, yun po yung isang tinatawag natin na claim against assets of the bank. Iba po ang ruta nun, pero fina-file na po ninyo yon. Kasi alam na po natin na ang balanse is more than 500,000. Makukuha nyo ba yung balanse ninyo? Yes, makukuha nyo siya. Pero may proseso po siyang iba na pinagdadaanan. Ito pong pinag-uusapan natin ngayon dito is how can you get your first 500,000 if you have a balance more than 500,000 pesos? Or how can you get your money back? How can you get your reimbursement back if you have a balance below 500,000 pesos? So yun po yung example na siguro pwede kong i-share sa inyo to better appreciate the application of the maximum deposit insurance coverage.
Thank you po, Attorney. Next question naman po natin, what are the possible challenges po that may be encountered in filing insurance claims?
The only challenge that you will really encounter is for you to really prove your identification or ownership of the bank account if hindi po ninyo ina-update ang inyong record sa bangko. Pero kung lahat po ng inyong record sa bangko, contact details are updated, you will not have any concerns when you claim for deposit insurance. Kasi our people will serve you right there in bed.
Thank you po, Attorney Sadi. May tanong po dito, kanina po nabanggit ni Sir Jerry na know your banks. Paano daw po malalaman kung reasonable or acceptable yung bank interest rates to determine po if excessive na siya?
Okay. May ano yan may parang what do you call this? Parang meron siyang industry rate, 'di ba? So lahat naman ng mako-compare po ninyo ang interest rates per bank. They vary for purposes of yung objective nila, yung concerns nila as a particular financial institution. But technically hindi mo malalaman yung parang gaano siya ka-excessive except in the paano siya binabalik. Yun yung sa akin, yun yung parang test ko na excessive siya. No? Meron kasi tayong mga scams or mga programs, yung mga scams dati na parang doble yung balik sa'yo ng money or regular, mataas ang balik sa'yo ng money. Wala namang problema kung mataas. Wala namang problema kung doble. Diba? Ang titingnan po ninyo dyan is, kaya bang i-sustain ng bangko na to na ibalik sa akin itong interest na to on a regular basis. Initially kasi ang ano niyan, makikita ninyo parang first month, second month, third month, dire-diretso consistent. Pero pag pumapalya na po siya at a certain point, you have to be very concerned already. No, at the onset hindi mo malalaman kasi know your bank as a habit is being offered to you because we all need to be prudent kung saan natin ilalagay yung pera natin. Ngayon po, ang tinuturo namin dyan, to know your bank is you can visit their websites. Lahat po may website na ngayon. Lahat may Facebook account. So, ito po yung mga avenues where you can actually check how stable or how reasonable your bank is, no, yung servisyo nila. Pero more than that, importante din po na tingnan niyo yung track record ng bangko. Saan niyo po yun makukuha? Makukuha niyo po yun sa reports nila. They have annual reports that are posted in their website. So, prudence po ang kailangan natin talaga. So, yun po yung mga tips namin sa inyo.
Thank you po, Attorney Sati. Next question po natin is from Sir Benjamin Polikit. Suggested po ba na ikalat sa iba't ibang bangko yung pera kasi maproseso po pala kung more than 500 pa yung remaining?
Sabi po kasi nila, di ba, you don't place your eggs in one basket. Yun po yung isa sa mga early lessons that I learned when we were developing our campaign for financial literacy. So, is it prudent to put your money in different banks? Yes, for purposes of ensuring na covered tayo, no? Pero ang banking po kasi ultimately rests on the individual, sir. So, kung sa tingin po ninyo ang bangko ninyo is a bank that you can really rely on, you can have several products in the bank, ano? Pero kung prudence po talaga ang titingnan, yung talagang panigurado, mas maganda na nasa iba't ibang bangko siya.
Thank you po, Attorney Sadi. Next question po natin, ito po ay isang may scenario po siyang binanggit. What if ang bank na matagal nang nagsara ay nabili ng mas malaking bangko? Nung i-check yung time deposit, 100,000 na lang yung laman, pero previously ang nakadeposit ay 200,000 plus. Saan po pwedeng maghabol ang depositor?
Okay. I'm sorry, but I think the scenario doesn't apply to how we do things right now, no? When the bank is ordered closed by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, lahat po ng transactions niyan sarado na. Hindi na po natin siya ginagawa, hindi na po tayo tumatanggap ng deposit, hindi na po tayo nagsiservice ng withdrawal, wala na pong loans. Lahat ho nagsa-stop. Okay, nagsa-stop, and then yung pong pagbili ng malaking bangko, if at all, yung mabibili niya is a license or makukuha niya is a license from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Wala na pong ibang entity that can buy the bank na na-order na closed ng Bangko Sentral. Ang ginagawa po ngayon kasi is diretso na tayo ng liquidation, Ms. Mayan. So, the bank is ordered closed by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, and then diretso na po sa liquidation. Wala na po tayong period where another bank can buy that. In the past, we had that. Pero ngayon po wala na. So, diretso na sa liquidation. Ibig sabihin, kinakalap na po natin yung pera ng bangko, kinokolekta na natin ang kailangan makolekta. We convert the assets of the bank sa cash para we can pay its remaining creditors at yung po mga depositors na meron pang excess sa 500,000 pesos.
Right.
So the scenario is no longer possible. Yes.
Okay. Thank you po. Last question po natin. This is from Ms. Gina Yap po. Shall the depositor pay any insurance premium to PDIC?
No, ma'am. The insurance premium that you pay, no, you don't pay po an insurance premium sa PDIC. The depositors do not pay any insurance premium to the PDIC.
Thank you so much po. Maraming salamat po sa mga nagtanong. Again, Attorney Sadi and Sir Jerry, thank you po for answering the questions. We hope na marami pong natutunan ng ating participants, especially on the importance of making informed financial decisions. Before we close this session po, may we ask both Attorney Sadi and Sir Jerry kung saan po pwedeng makontak ang PDIC ng participants sa kanilang other concerns and to give a short message po sa ating participants.
You can contact us at pad@pdic.gov.ph. Yan po ang aming public assistance per email address. And we thank you, DTI, for giving us an opportunity to share PDIC's financial literacy advocacy. And sa atin pong mga participants here, maraming salamat sa pakikinig at sa mga tanong po na shinare ninyo sa amin, because you gave us an opportunity to discuss with you further and in details kung ano pa po ang mga na ginagawa namin. The 7 Habits of a Wise Saver is something that we have been campaigning for the past 10-15 years now. And we hope na kung wala man po kayong napulot sa mga na-share ni Jerry earlier, huwag niyo pong kalimutan yung habit number 7. Yung be cautious. Pangalagaan po ninyo kung saan ninyo ilalagay ang pera ninyo, kung paano nyo po gagamitin, at kung saan pong financial institution ninyo siya ilalagay para magkaroon po siya ng value sa objective ninyo, sa goals ninyo sa buhay. So, Jerry and I thank you for this opportunity, and we hope that this will not be the last that we can do with DTI. Thank you very much, Ms. Mayan.
Thank you po, Attorney Sadi. Sir Jerry, would you like to add po to what Attorney Sadi said? Kahit short message lang, sir, to our participants po. Sir, nakamute po kayo.
Okay, now that you have learned the meaning and the definition of saving and its impact in our future lives, and sana we take it to heart that we save wisely and be responsible bankers, and to start saving now if you still have time. Find time, actually. Thank you.
Alright. Muli, maraming salamat po sa PDIC at sa ating very capable speakers ngayong umaga, Attorney Sadi Rilorta and Sir Jerry Franco. At mula po sa Consumer Protection Group, maraming salamat po sa ating mga participants na nakasama natin ngayong umaga. Huwag niyo pong kalimutang samahan kaming muli sa aming susunod na mga webinars. Our announcements po will be posted in our social media accounts. For more updates, please like, follow, and subscribe to our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube accounts, DTI Consumer Care and DTI Philippines. Also, kindly accomplish po and submit the survey forms na pinost po natin sa chat box section. 2 po iyan para sa DTI at para po sa PDIC. Para makakuha din po kayo ng link para ma-download ang presentation na ginamit natin ngayong umaga. Thank you so much po sa lahat and stay safe.
Para sa ating mamamayang Pilipino, para iwas daya dapat wais at alisto. Mainam maging mapagmatsyag at mapanuri tayo, palakasin ang boses ng ating mga consumer. Dapat tama bawat presyo at serbisyo, produktong pasado lalo ang mga pangunahing bilihin. Ang kalidad ng mga produkto at serbisyo ay pangalagaan ng lahat, tayo ay panalo. Layunin ng DTI ito,
ipatupad price at 7581, Consumer Act 7394, Product Standards 4109, for Consumer Care at iba pa, kaya 1384.
ipalaganap karapatan at tungkulin, kaalamang tama sa consumer ibahagi. Tulay sa kaunlaran, kalakalan ay palakasin. Ito ang pagbabago para sa ikabubuti natin. Dapat tapat bawat presyo at serbisyo, produktong pasado lalo ang mga pangunahing bilihin. Ang kalidad ng mga produkto at serbisyo ay ay ipo.